What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about caring for your satin finished vehicles, whether it be a wrap or if you have like a Mercedes or something that has a satin finish paint. I'm going to show you how to properly clean it, how to protect it, and then also how to remove overspray if you were to get any. It's a different situation. You don't want to use clay and polish and all that kind of stuff because that'll add some gloss to it. You don't want to do that. If you have a nice satin finish, you want to keep it that way, keep it consistent. So today I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's jump into it. Okay, so first up, I'm going to show you how to wash and protect satin finishes. Now this is going to be on a wrap in particular, but it's going to be the same process for the paint as well. I have my wife's Toyota Sequoia outside that I wrapped in a satin gray, I can't remember the exact color, but satin finish. So let's go ahead and walk through that. After that, we're going to be talking about how to remove the overspray from a satin finish. Not ideal really for wraps. It is a wrap and it's not as robust as actually paint, but as long as you're careful on that situation, it'll work across the board, whether it be painted or just a wrap. So let's jump into the wash. Okay guys, so here's the vehicle. As you can see, it's absolutely filthy. It's been a while since I washed this. It's just been parked at the house. My wife's been driving it around. So it's dirty. It's properly dirty. So what we want to do, guys, is I'm going to start off by doing an initial rinse of the vehicle. This is just to get off that top layer of stuff that just is going to come right off. So just a quick rinse. I love doing a pre-rinse on this because it helps to cool, especially if you're in the direct sunlight, it'll help to cool the panels down. And then we can go in with our foam cannon and actually apply a bunch of soap that's going to help loosen everything up, break it down a little bit so that it rinses away nicely. Okay, so the vehicle's all rinsed down. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill my foam cannon. This is the MJJC Foam Cannon Pro. This is my favorite foam cannon. It gets the most amount of foam compared to the others. This one, the MTM and the Griot's Boss foam cannon, all pretty much get the same amount of foam, but all three of those are substantially more than other foam cannons. So I love this one. This one's the cheapest. I actually offer it on my site, but you can also get it on Amazon. I'll link it in both situations down in the description for you guys. But I'm just going to go ahead and apply a nice thick layer of pH neutral soap. Very important here, guys, and I'm not using any wash and wax. This does no wax additives in the soap. I'm just using Mr. Pink in this situation from Chemical Guys. I'll link that in the description. I also really like using Meguiar's Gold Class just because the lubrication of that product is really slick, and I like that as well. So both of them are going to work perfectly on this. You could also go, if you don't have this foam cannon and you want to get this amount of foam, go with either Max Shine's Ultra Foaming Wash or Adam's Mega Foam. They get a ton of foam. And if you pair it with this foam cannon or the MTM or Griot's Boss, it's just a ridiculous amount of foam. Okay, now that the foam has been applied, I'm gonna let it dwell. I'm gonna let it sit on there for about a minute and just kind of work its way down. I'm not in any rush. I don't want to let it sit on too long, but this is pH neutral soap, so it's not going to cause any damage. I'm just going to let it sit, and then I will take my wash bucket that also has the pH neutral soap in it, take my either wash mitt, wash pad, or just microfibers. In my case, I'm just using microfibers here, and I'm going to go ahead and wipe down every surface of the vehicle. The reason I like using a microfiber towel in this situation is because as I'm wiping a panel, the towel or your wash mitt will become soiled with the contamination that was on the paint, right? So if you're using a traditional wash mitt, then you have a multiple bucket method and you're dipping it in to get that dirt off before you go back into the soapy water and go back at it. Well, in my situation, I don't have to do that because I can either just fold up the microfiber towel and continue working, or I can toss that one to the side, have another microfiber in my bucket, and get right back to work. I don't have to have multiple buckets. It just simplifies the process for me. Now that the whole vehicle is wiped down, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse it off. Very simple. Just make sure I start from the top, let gravity do its thing. It's removing all the soap, everything else, everything's rinsing away nicely. And I'll just go around the vehicle, make sure I'm blowing all the soap out of the little tight spots, and get it all rinsed down. Okay, now to the drying off / protection. Because it's a satin finish, you're not gonna get a ton of streaking, right? You're not gonna see that stuff from the gloss paint. So what I'll do, guys, is I'm gonna take some either Technician's Choice ceramic detail spray, or in this case, I'm actually gonna use Technician's Choice, their G-Max, which is their graphene detail spray, graphene infused. I've heard mixed reviews on this product. I have used it in the past on traditionally painted cars, and it seems to give a extra little boost of protection, but it's not as easy to apply as the ceramic detail spray is. The most important thing is, guys, when you're doing this on these satin finishes, you don't want to apply anything by any kind of a cream because it can kind of fill in the pores of the wrap or the satin finish. And you don't want to use any abrasive. You don't want to use a polisher because that could add some gloss, right? So we're just going to use a spray-on paint sealant, or in this case, ceramic detail spray, to add protection to it and also give it a nice glossier finish so that things don't stick to it as much. So in my situation here, the car has been done like that before with an initial application of the ceramic detail spray. So in this situation, I'm gonna go around quickly with a leaf blower. I'm just gonna blow out all the tight spots, get the stuff that's gonna cause drips down the road all out of those little tight spots so that there's no water left behind. The rest of the vehicle is still wet, there's still drips on it, and I'm just gonna take my ceramic detail spray it onto my microfiber towel. Again, in this case, the G-Max graphene detail spray. Spray it onto a microfiber towel, dry the whole vehicle down and get it to flash out perfectly. I'm doing 2 steps in one here, guys. I'm drying down the vehicle and I'm also adding that protection that I want to keep my car looking as good as it can, as long as it can. All right, guys, now after you do all that, just go around, do your basic stuff, clean your windows, clean your, dress your tires, all that kind of good stuff. Let's go ahead and talk about overspray now. I have my buddy's motorcycle here. I actually filmed this separately on my phone, so let's jump into that video. Really quickly, I just wanted to give you guys a highlight on something. I have a Triumph motorcycle here, and as you can see, it's got a satin finish paint on it. And what happened with this thing is, it's a buddy of mine's motorcycle. He also has an airplane that he's doing some work on. He had to spray a little bit of the wing. The motorcycle was in his hangar. It got overspray on it. The purpose of this video is to talk about how you get overspray off of a satin finish of a vehicle. Now, this isn't talking about wraps. This is talking about actual satin paint. Not a lot of vehicles have it, but some motorcycles, some Mercedes, all that kind of stuff, they do have satin paints out there. So I figured I'd make a quick video on how to remove that. You don't want to use any kind of mechanical or abrasive to remove it, because if you do that, you can affect the satin finish. You can cause it to gloss up, make it blotchy, make it glossy. You don't want that. So what you have to do is use a solvent to remove the overspray, and just put it on a microfiber towel and rub it out. So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just using Goof Off, hitting the areas, getting it removed, and then rinsing it with a wet cloth right afterwards. And then we'll do a full detail on the thing afterwards. But as of right now, we're just working on getting the overspray removed. Again, you don't want to use that Goof Off on every surface. It can cause some dulling on certain things, but on the satin finish paint, we're all good. So let me go ahead and show you guys what I'm doing here. All right, so here's the paint work. Now guys, there's some scratching through here. This is just from wear and tear. It's not from what I'm doing. But as you can see, here is the section that had the overspray. You can see all these little blue specks in it. There you go. And then we go over to this side, and all the blue specks are removed. I mean, you can see just the difference of color right now, where this is like a true satin black versus black with a grayish blue tint over the top of it. So it was also on the gas cap, got it off of there. It's pretty much over every surface of this thing. This is really cool. It's a little Iron Maiden front end fairing there. So really cool bike, but I'm just going through and again, like I said, I'm gonna show you really quickly how I'm doing it. Okay guys, so I just put some Goof Off. I just poured it straight onto my microfiber towel. I'm gonna go ahead and sit on the bike just so I can get more comfortable for this. But as you can see, all this stuff here. So here we go, just gonna wipe it out. And as you can see, it's starting to come up already. Very, very easily coming up. You don't have to get too aggressive. You're letting the chemical do the work. Okay, so we'll stop there. There's some blue on there. I'm gonna take my wet microfiber now and just rinse this area down just so you guys can see the difference before and after. All right, and then I have another dry towel just to buff that out. And we'll let the water flash off of it really quickly, let it dry out. But there you go, guys. There you can see the clean area versus that's all the overspray that was on there. Huge difference of clean versus overspray. And again, we're just using a solvent to remove it on satin finish paint. I know there's a lot of questions out there regarding how to take care of your satin finish, either, again, whether it be wrap or an actual satin finish paint. So hopefully this gives you some clarification. There's even more questions and not a lot of answers out there regarding how to remove overspray. Again, you don't want to use that clay, you don't want to use a polish, all that kind of stuff, the traditional methods that you would normally do, because it can mess up the finish, cause some glossy spots, some blotchiness. Don't want that. Just use a nice solvent and you'll be good to go. So that's it, guys. I hope that video helps you. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one.